you're not a strict adherent to Ayn Rand's objectivist values, you will be tarred and feathered, sir. Sir and ma'am, you will be tarred and feathered. And floated down a piece of old termite-ridden driftwood down the river, all the way to the sea. On the beach, you can scratch out an existence, if you're skilled that way. You can learn to make scuba or snorkel equipment. You can learn to manipulate hot rubber. That's what they do in some of these island countries, the poor people. Yeah, they're they make their own snorkel equipment so they can survive. So anyway, today I was thinking I'm gonna speak more against this evil of circumcision. So somebody, I don't know, picked the lock and walked in here. I don't know, they had a key, They simply had a key. And they came up here and they dusted the place with some horrible smart dust variety. I don't know, maybe it's just some powdered drugs, that are known to have some terrible effects. I don't know. Yeah, that's what they've used on me before. My hormone production's been affected. Collagen production, no collagen production, no estrogen production, no. I think my testosterone might be a bit, it's a bit down, not sort of enforced not winning, and right, not making money and then, cheating me that way. And, right, it forces the body to, shift into a conservative, and, the body doesn't want to, there's nothing to be gained, and so it's a waiting game, so testosterone production drops down. You see how that works, right? Right, interesting. Yeah, and then whenever I do win something, things go my way. Well, I'm raring to go again. Anyway, yeah, my bones and joints seem to be affected as well. I got this terrible, terrible headache. Yeah, they like to destroy things, man, because what was taken from them is just so severe. What was taken from them, you cannot. What's the equivalent thing that's happened to me? What? Even after all I've been through with MK Ultra and everything, I mean, I still have my foreskin, and I was breastfed for I think 2 years, and so that makes me like a completely different species, basically. I used to be the standard thing, you know. Right. But then, see, this whole idea of putting everybody on a war footing, it's also something the Egyptians did to their slaves. you know. So anyway, um, wow, it hurts. Wow. Yeah, I vacuumed up all the smart, most of the, well, 75% of the smart dust. I don't know, it's smart dust, just some drugs in a powdered form. But I mean, they'd be fools not to, crozzle it on a nanoscale, electromagnetically. And, scalar waves are part of the electromagnetic spectrum. And, you do quantum entanglements. It's just like your fucking remote control is a quantum device. I mean, it's all Tesla technology, by the way. And Tesla was a mystic, and he was a student of Egyptian occultism. As a boy, he read some rare books. You know. Uh, so see, so here's the deal. So you're less alive. You're less alive if you've had your foreskin cut off. Uh, geez, wow, ow. So it puts you on a war footing because and you want to. What I've noticed, I mean, these people they like to box somebody into a corner, then impose some kind of double bind on them all the time. Because they always feel threatened all the time. So everything is threatening. If you go to them, you want to have a conversation like, well, why did you do this? I don't understand. What's wrong with you? This is what I think is wrong with you. This is what you're so stupid. You did. They think you're. They think you got a knife in your hand, and they they think you got a knife. It hurts, and you're gonna cut more off of them. So I'll show you, what a double bind is. You're going to learn about that. A double bind is imposed with a shears, two brutal instruments, of severance, uh, coming together for what makes for a inescapable argument. Yeah. I was, turning my mind to the task of creating a kind of a combat shears, Uh, that was a few years back, while I was in Alaskan waters, for the salmon season, aboard a floating factory, and oh boy, wow, the eugenic sports were fierce aboard that vessel. Wrote a book about it. Just about finished with that thing. Got to put a few finishing touches. Why that could be a big time seller right there. I gotta just remember like what normal people do. To be successful. Gotta beat all the programming. Yep. Yeah, I gotta get healthcare again so I can talk to a therapist. That was helpful. Was helpful. Yeah, real helpful. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll learn all about, and I would show you. I would show you if I could, friends, because but people are squeamish about such things, and it would be interpreted as being somehow pornographic. I don't see how. It's just, anyway. The male genitalia, they're ugly. By the way, it's ugly. It's basic. I mean, I don't know. It's not. I don't know. It's not ugly, but it's not. It's not pretty. That's for sure. You know, it's just utilitarian. And people have some ideas about aesthetics. How it looks. And they don't want it to look like an elephant's trunk when it's flaccid. Wow, amazing. Too much. Oh, naked little kids, and they can't stomach seeing an elephant's trunk. Glancing and seeing an elephant's trunk. I don't know. These are real amazing concerns. They'd rather have this sort of weird two-tone looking sausage weird fucking thing. This fucking weird bulb that's skinned, and it's just a muscle. You don't have two layers of skin. Just saying. Oh, so but here's the thing. I just want to talk about the whole war footing thing. So they have when they did that to your friend, why when they did that to your friend, listen. Yeah, you couldn't raise a hand to stop them. Are you gonna tell me that you would have been like, oh yeah, hell yeah, let's do this shit? If you were if you were expecting it, are you telling me that's what you would have wanted, friend? So imagine the betrayal of that, and imagine like, I mean, it's just so what a change of pace, from all that love and care, Now you find out you can't trust anybody. You can't trust these monsters, these giant monsters who you thought cared about you, you know. That's fun, you know. Oh, that's not going to do anything to your nervous system that's still developing. Right. I mean, it's growing and growing exponentially. The plates of your skull, I mean, they're not even fused up. They're not fused up together, They don't fuse up. They're not fused up, So your brain can expand. It's going to have a huge impact on your the development of your nervous system. You know. So what I noticed was what I've observed is that these people they lack this subtlety. There's this huge sense of polarization. So it's either that there's a knife or there's not a knife. And the only way for there not to be a knife is if you have somebody just thoroughly cowed. So it's about the thorough study of deception, which is what war is based on, and it's about force, and everything's about deception and force and conquest. So it's interesting that romance is thought to be a conquest. Romance is war also. That's always an interesting take on the subject that I can never quite figure. I've only been able to figure it out until more recently, you know. And they tried to tell me that was the right way, and I have to do like them, or else I must be gay or something. You know? It's just it never stops, man. It never stops. So all this manipulation, like using a microwave emitter to influence the subconscious mind of somebody while they're sleeping. They do this to women. They do this to women, and this happened today. Is just this happened today. It wasn't just happenstance. I met I came across this girl and this young woman anyway. Uh, and she, um, Last night, you see, they had this little communication with me. Like, well, we're going to relent for the day. I didn't quite know specifically what was. It was all kind of very vague, and a lot of different voices sort of chiming in. But this is a typical double bind bullshit. It turned out to be the typical double bind bullshit. And I got this little image, of this woman, but in retrospect, it was her, but her forehead was a little different, and her eye color was different, and so yeah, I didn't recognize it was her really, at the time. So one thing I'll say, yeah, it was good about this girl. She thinks a lot. She's got that going for her. She does think a lot. She's unusual that way. I could tell. And if I saw her again, I probably would want to, I'd probably ask, to hang out with her or to go out with her. But it's just I don't like these manipulated situations. I don't like that you did that to her. I don't like that you directed her without her knowledge or consent to be there that at that time and all that, and sort of expecting something to happen. I don't like that. I don't like that. That's sick. You're involved in black magic, and it's damnable. It's damnable behavior. That's sick. You right. Everything's about excessive control with you. Everything's yeah, excessive control. Everything's war with you. And you know what? I never needed your help. See, that's the thing. I never wanted your help. I never needed your help. Never, ever, ever. You have fucked everything up in my life consistently because you think it's great sport to you. It's great sport to you. So this is how you make up for it. This is how you make up for what was taken from you. All it takes is a single stem cell treatment. That's all it takes. But what was done to your mind, it can never be repaired. You know. So we'll find out what a double bind looks like. Okay. Ow. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, my bones are whittled down. This is what you see fit to do to me because you're such a lot of faggots. And you need to right. It's so ridiculous. It's like yeah, because everything's about conquest. It's about like I can't even understand this stuff about. Uh, oh boy. Uh, okay. Oh, like you need to rate women. You need to get yourself. You need to talk. Get yourselves jazzed up about women. You need to convince. Right, you need to sit there and try to objectively quantify. What's valuable with each other. Because you don't feel that in yourself. You don't really feel that in yourself. Everything's so highly polarized. Let's see. Then you sit around you stand around with pornographic magazines and do a circle jerk with your friends. Like this is actually a real thing that you guys do. I mean, it's nothing that I would ever, it would never occur to me to do that. Oh, he's different. We don't want to invite him into the circle. I wouldn't want to be there, friend. You know. Naturally, I mean, this leads to this I mean, it's actually, this practice of circumcision actually it promotes homosexuality in actual fact. Right. And then you try to, you and your elders, you try to pawn that off on, people like me. Interesting. Oh, you are the subjugated. That's what the Egyptians did to their slaves. And you want to perpetrate this practice to this day, thousands of years later. That's amazing. That's amazing. All these different political organizations, these ruling classes, so this modeled themselves after the Egyptians. That's all it is. The Egyptians were a great, great, great civilization. We don't even know all the technologies that they had. You know. So you're so in love with war that this is how you operate, right? And a guy like me comes along, and all right, oh yeah, let's figure this fucking thing out. You little fuckers. You fuckers. Yeah. Oh, oh God. Oh, ow. You. Oh, more of the same. You damn yourselves. Uh, more of the same. But your kind's going extinct. I'm going to ensure that. You went too far with me. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's doing all right. You still haven't taken more from me than has been taken from you. You still haven't managed that. It's a game, huh? Or whatever. It's fucking. All right, I'm gonna fix this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you little faggots. Yeah. Oh yeah. You fucking scum. I'll impress upon you like what a double bind is. The inescapable double bind. Extreme polarization. So you get your right hand choice, and you get your extreme left hand choice. This is what you want to impose on everybody all the time. Whenever you get the chance, you know. Oh God. Oh God. Okay. I'm not gonna do that to myself.